Peace, love, and light, Pisces. This is your weekly reading. The question for your reading today is, what do I need to recognize about the way I think? What am I not seeing that is trapping me inside of my own mind? Call that 1. We're gonna call this even 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I haven't done this with any of the other decks, but I am going to clarify these. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so that I can start going live. Once I have 50 subscribers, I can do the preview readings here on YouTube live instead of having to do them on other platforms. The preview reading is pretty much the reading that tells me what the questions are going to be for each of the signs. It lets me know, it's where I pull all of these cards out. It lets me know what's going on with you in a mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional sense, and then tells me what questions you have about where you're at, or what questions need to be asked. Interesting. The only card you have upright in the clarifiers is the Four of Wands, and it's paired with the Lover's card. The Four of Wands is about building a home. Sometimes it's about marriage or a solid foundation. Which position is that in? That is in the 7 position, which is, what do I need to know? Interesting. All right, Pisces, what should I know? What should I know? Right now, what should you know? 8 of Wands and 3 of Wands. Okay, this is all about what you need to recognize about the way that you think. These are things that are trapping you or freeing you from the inside of your mind. What you should know is that, 1, you've been communicating a very pessimistic message. You've been vibrating a very pessimistic energy. But there's potential for alignment here, you just can't see it. Maybe it's not meant for you to see. Some things are meant for us to keep in faith until they come into fruition. What shouldn't you do? Oh, that's not what should you know. That one messed me up. This is what should you do. Stop radiating negative energy. Step into alignment and stop communicating your plans, is what I'm getting strongly here. It's not in the cards, but it's a message that keeps pestering me here. Um, Four of Swords and the Two of Coins in reverse. What shouldn't you do? You shouldn't spend time dwelling in the past or trying to decide between two options that are no longer options anymore. And it may be more than two. But I feel like you're trying to weigh options that have already fallen to the ground. And maybe it's time to pull yourself out of that reminiscent energy, this mourning energy a little bit. What are you unsure about? You're unsure about what you want and what direction to go. You're unsure about what would really make you happy or how to get there. What do you need to wait on? You need to wait on making a decision about reaching out to somebody from the past. You need to wait on expecting things from other people and focus more of your energy on making decisions for yourself and making decisions that bring you into a new energy and not a familiar energy. What needs to be avoided at all costs? Okay. Stop trying to hide your emotions. Stop trying to hide your emotions to prevent things from changing. Stop trying to hide your reactions or the way you feel and think to avoid conflict or to avoid ruin. That's the name of this card, is ruin. What's going to end up happening is you're going to become so overwhelmed that instead of knocking the tower down, you're just going to drown the tower. And either way, the tower is coming down, because if it's meant to crumble, it will crumble, and something stronger will be built in its place. What should I communicate? You should be honest and clear-cut in your communication. Don't communicate about your finances. And that's only relevant for those of you who have a wealth or a sum of money somewhere or assets somewhere that are valuable. Don't communicate those. I would say if this is in regards to a relationship with another person, no, I'm gonna backtrack that, because I feel like this is telling you very strongly to avoid other people right now. Even if it's not like complete avoidance of other people, just like it's time to go inside of yourself a little bit for a little while and understand things better with you, instead of trying to reach out and intertwine yourself with another person. Don't communicate finances, good or bad. But definitely be clear-cut and honest in your communication. Be sure of your direction when it's time for you to communicate. Not every opportunity to speak is a time that you should be talking. So be wary of that, but be certain and firm on what you say. Be certain of what you say. Be careful that you use your tongue like a sword and not like a weapon. There's a difference, not as a weapon to hurt somebody, but as a sharp sword that is delicate and should be cared for and not just thrown around or wielded in any direction. Your tongue shouldn't act as if it's in war all the time, because it shouldn't be in war all the time. There should be at least times, if you can't pull yourself out of it completely, there should only be certain times where you have to use your tongue as a sword. Most of the time, your tongue should be very carefully placed in a case in your mouth, and very delicately used, very what's the word I'm looking for? Gracefully used. What do you need to know is the Lovers and the Four of Wands. I feel like what you need to know is there is marriage and love out there for you. If you can manage to balance the way that you think and balance the way that you feel about other people, and especially this need to bury or hide your emotions for fear of burdening or collapsing somebody else's structure. Once you remove all these negative patterns within yourself, there is love out there for you. There's marriage out there for you, and it's strong and it's destined. These aren't just like regular cards. Like Two of Cups gives me like a strong partnership energy, but this gives me like soulmate energy. Like we've been married before and we will be married again energy. But in order for this to happen, you have to work on the other things within yourself. It's never going to be anything that's fruitful if you keep digging in the dirt where you planted the seeds. If there's a seed meant to grow there, the only thing that you can do is bring the water. That's what the star is about. The star is about a character that is bringing water in the middle of the night to this same spot and nurturing the land in this same spot to try and develop it, until one day they go to this spot and they notice that this whole time I had been building an oasis, and I couldn't recognize that it was an oasis because I was so focused on the task at hand. But it's here, and it's everything that I wanted it to be, and everything that I hoped it would be. And so this energy of the star is coming through with the Lovers and the Four of Wands. Here it is, the star again, upright. It's giving two separate decks, by the way, but it's definitely giving we could be married again in this life, meaning it could be somebody that you've been married to in the past, but likely somebody that you'd been married to in a past life. And even if this isn't your absolute, this is the one soulmate, this is definitely a soulmate of yours. And if you want this to come to fruition, everything else has to be dealt with within you in order to align yourself. The most likely outcome is nobody's going to get hurt from this situation. There's no heartbreak. The Three of Swords is about heartbreak. It's in reverse, which tells me there's no heartbreak in this outcome. But it's also very untraditional. It's very different from either what you expected or what people expect of you. The overall energy / advice is the Nine of Wands in reverse and the Star. Yeah. Your advice is to stop being wounded. I know it's hard to just stop being wounded, but stop reacting as if you're wounded. Stop reacting as if you're a soldier all the time. It takes me back to this card where I was talking about him using his tongue as a sword. Stop living in that energy of war. Stop being that wounded warrior and step into this star energy where you're nurturing this oasis around you. She's pouring water onto the ground to nurture the land. And before she knew it, there it was. She was surrounded by beautiful flowers and water and abundance and everything that she had dreamed it would be. But you have to step out of this wounded energy. You have to change your mentality. Stop trapping yourself inside of your own head and assuming that things have to be a certain way. Stop being at war with yourself. All right, guys, this is your yes or no question. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to get it ready. What's your yes or no? Ooh, you're right. Thank you, Spirit. I forgot your oracle cards or your cards against humanity. I completely forgot, but Spirit doesn't let me forget anything that isn't supposed to be forgotten. All right, let me get some oracle cards for Pisces. What do they need to recognize about the way that they think? What do they need to recognize about the way that they think? What do they need to recognize about the way that they think? All right. Turning poor people against each other so they don't pay attention to economic equality. This takes me back to this King of Swords. And I'm really getting this strong urge to tell you, stop using your tongue as a weapon. Stop trying to manipulate people using your words. Using your words, and if there's any emotional manipulation in there, because you got the king and the king right next to each other, cut it out. You want to know what's wrong with the way that you think? That's a big chunk of it. You can't manipulate people. And of course, yes, you can manipulate people, but the spirit of the universe, the spirit of God does not play. The spirit of our ancestors, the spirit of our angels do not play about our people. When you do harm to other people, you're doing harm to yourself. Turning poor people against each other so they don't pay attention to economic inequality. Voter suppression. Stop putting other people in a position to where they feel like they don't have a voice. Stop putting people in a position to where they feel like they don't have a vote, because their vote is just as valid as yours. And as long as you think like this, you're never going to be able to be in an alignment with somebody else. Whether this is marriage or a healthy relationship with a family member or a healthy business relationship, it will never be fruitful. You can't grow a plant in tainted soil. It doesn't work that way. And as long as you keep tainting your soil, your trees aren't going to yield fruit. Your plants aren't going to yield anything. And the last one is leading a country to war under false pretenses. What else can I say? What else can I say? Like, it's giving really strong politician level manipulation. I didn't say this, I said that. I never said that. I never did that, even though I watched you do it and heard you say it, and no, but I never said that, and you can't prove that I said that, so I never said that. That's not the energy to live your life in. And if you want to have any interaction with another person of any value, yeah, sure, you can probably get people that are okay with living a lifestyle the way that you treat people now, but that doesn't mean that they're people of value. Most of those people don't value themselves. Most of those people have no value about their lives. If you want somebody that is of value, somebody that is capable of valuing you because they value themselves. See, most people, not most people, all people are incapable of experiencing anything that they haven't felt within themselves first. So if you're dealing with a person that does not value themselves, they will first either overvalue you or they will never value anything. And those are your options. And overvaluing you is just as bad, because now you have somebody that you're attached to, or rather that's attached to you, that is of no value. So you got to shake out of that. You got to break out of that. You got to change the way you think, the way you treat people, the way you talk to people. And if you don't, that's fine. That's cool. You can stay in invaluable situations. You can stay in soil that yields no fruit. You can stay in decision between two options that aren't even options anymore. You can stay in this energy. That's fine. But if you would like to be better, if you would like to grow and develop your mentality to be a better human being for the sake of all humankind, for the sake of yourself and the value of your life and what you bring to the table, if you want to develop those things, then change the way that you think, change the way you talk to people, stop using your tongue as a weapon, and cherish it like a sword. Period. All right, guys. I love you so much. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Once I get 50 subscribers, I can start going live and doing these preview readings over here. And I really would like to do that instead of doing them on other social media. All right. I will see you all next week on Monday. Bye, Pisces. You know what? Nope, not by Pisces, because I have this yes or no question that I forgot to ask because of the cards. All right, one more question, yes or no. Everybody get ready. Heads for yes, tails for no. Excuse this coin, it's really old. I didn't mean to rhyme. Bow. Tails. All right. I love you, Pisces. I will see y'all next week. Bye.